Okay, this is very exciting for me. I got a chance to speak to the man behind the Jack Reacher novels, Lee Child. Check it out. I need to tell you, I was in my late teens when Killing Floor came out, and my mom was obsessed with it. And she's read all of your novels and is still obsessed with it. And she's the one who actually introduced me because she knew I loved this sort of lone wolf stories, and we've been reading them together ever since for the last, what is it, 2.5 decades? So thank you very much for that.
Well, clearly your mother is a woman of great charm and quality, and so thank you very much.
And she's got great taste, clearly, yes. So I think Prime has had great success in doing these adaptations out of order, like with Bosch, for example. And Killing Floor and Bad Luck and Trouble were the perfect choices for season 1 and 2 because we got to see Reacher the Loner, and then we got to see what he was like in a team. Could you talk to me about the decision to go back and adapt Persuader for season 3? Why this novel?
Well, I think that, first of all, I wrote the books as being able to be read in any order. I did not want to have a series where you had to start at the beginning and then do number 2 and number 3 because that's difficult for shoppers. You know, maybe they can't find the right book. So each book stands alone. And that gave us the freedom to do the TV in whatever order we want. And you're right, the first book was really about Reacher and his actual family, his brother. And then the second season was about Reacher and his professional family, his unit in the Army. So we felt that for season 3, we should do Reacher the total loner. He's on his own. He knows nobody here. He's on his own. He's undercover. He's in great danger. And that's the classic Reacher. So having introduced him in season 1 and season 2 with his emotional roots, now we're going for Reacher the hardcore loner doing his thing on his own.
In all of your years writing the character, I was curious if getting into this adaptation changed anything about Reacher for you.
You know what? No, not at all, because Reacher for me was so firmly set in my mind that no actor could change it. But I was really happy that Alan Ritchson was so like my vision of Reacher inside. He really was what I saw put on the screen. And so that is, to me, the joy of this thing. Alan is so good at it, and he brings with that inspiration for the rest of the cast. It's very easy to talk about Alan and how good he is, but we must never forget all 3 seasons so far have had an outstanding supporting cast.
Yeah.
And that is because the lead actor kind of inspires that, I think.
And so with your brother taking over the series now, I mean the novels, does anything about the character surprise you? Anything that he does and you go, "Oh, wait a minute, that's interesting. I never looked at it that way."
You mean what my brother does? Yeah, a little bit. He makes Reacher talk a little bit more, which is much more like what I did early in the series. I mean,
Right.
Persuader is a good example where Reacher talks a little more than he did in the later books. And I'm not sure why I
Because he's
did
got the
that.
kid as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So Andrew is more into the dialogue, and Andrew's really good at supporting characters too. And so, yeah, I'm very happy with how that's going.
So I get the fascination with the mysterious stranger who kind of rocks up and then saves a small community, often from themselves, before moving on. It's the Magnificent Seven, it's the Equalizer, it's Kirk breaking the Prime Directive in every Star Trek episode. I get that bit. But I wanted to ask you about the second part, the moving on part, because I think there was a time when we identified with the person in trouble who was looking for a hero. However, with the state of the world, I feel like a lot of us want to move on and live that Reacher life. Is that something you've encountered, the shifting fascination with the character?
Yeah, both things are true there. The ancient myth is always the stranger who shows up and solves the problem and then moves on. The moving on is really important in that story because what do you do with the guy if he sticks around? You know, there's all kinds of gratitude issues and so on. He has to move on. But what has taken me by surprise over the years is not just the number of people who want that help. They want to be that guy. They want no responsibilities. They want to walk away. And then secondarily, I was always thought that must be a male fantasy. You know, they're tied down by their jobs and mortgages and all that kind of thing, and they would like to get rid of it. But it has been proved to me over and over, it's equally a woman's fantasy. They would love to walk away and be somewhere else tomorrow. And so both parts of it work. They want the help, but they also want to be the helper.
Yeah. Now, I know I'm in the minority here, But I didn't mind the Tom Cruise movies. I quite enjoyed them. Once I got over the physicality of it. But what I found fascinating about both screen renditions of the character is that, and correct me if I'm wrong in this one, I felt that Cruise played it like this lone wolf who was haunted by his past, but was still on a mission. But I feel like Ritchson is the reluctant hero who just wants to be left alone. Is that an accurate assessment? And I was wondering if that's true with you as well, like how you see the character.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're right, and I think Ritchson is closer to what I intended, which is that Reacher is not trying to save the world. He would like to just be left alone and do his thing, but he has this sense of noblesse oblige that if he gets into a situation, he feels compelled to help because he can. That's what we should all do. If we can do something, we should do something. If we can help, we should help. But we don't go looking for trouble. And that's what Alan captures really well. It is not about a proactive aggression with Reacher. He's not looking for trouble. He is prepared to take it, but he's not searching for it. And Alan does that great. You can tell by just looking at him. He wants a quiet life. He wants a peach pie and a cup of coffee. And he gets very upset that things get in the way of that.
I know there's a lot of material to mine from the novels, but I was wondering if there ever was any discussion about doing original Reacher stories for the show, or is that what the Neagley spin-off is for? Because, man, Maria Sten is just incredible.
Yeah, Maria is fantastic, and I think that the spin-off is a reward for how well she's played the part. And you said earlier, do I see Alan when I'm thinking of Reacher? No, I don't, but I do see Maria when I'm thinking of Neagley. My original concept of her has disappeared. I see Maria only, and that's a tribute to the strength that she brings to the show. And so, yeah, I can't wait to see that too, and hopefully it'll be just as good.
I've got time for one more question, and I'm just very curious. I know TV shows, or at least I approach TV shows as being supplementary to the novels. I don't see them as the same thing. And I think that's a really good way to approach it because I'm not as disappointed when things fail me. However, in this process of adaptation, I was curious whether you got a chance to revisit certain things in the novels and go, oh, wait, I can do things a bit differently because I didn't like it the first time around.
Yeah, usually that happens to me by the writers. Nick Santora runs a writer's room, and that is the most annoying thing. When they come up with something better than what I had done, I think, damn, I wish I had done that. Of course, there's a lot of changes need to be made, and they have to do transitions differently and so on, and I really admire the way they do it, and I think I could not have done it better. And so that is my touchstone. If I think I could have done it better, they're failing. But no, they're doing really well, and they're surprising me all the time and annoying me all the time. I think they're doing this better than I would have.
Oh, that's a great place to be, though, especially when the show is this good. So congratulations, sir. I think they gave me the first 6 episodes of season 3, and I binged it all the way to like 3 a.m. one night, and it's brilliant as always, and I'm a huge fan. So thank you so much for this.
Thanks, and say hi to your mom for me.
I will do. Cheers. That was Lee Child. He wrote the Jack Reacher novels. Season 3 of Jack Reacher drops on Prime Video February 20th. Check it out. Let us know what you think. Sound off in the comments, and thank you so much for watching.